As the season began to wind down, Andy Herrera, Gina Lee Ortiz, started questioning the circumstances surrounding her mother, Eleanor's, Patricia de Leon, death after losing her father, Pruitt, Miguel Sandoval, in a fire, his heroic sacrifice saving Firehouse 19's lives. All her life, she was told her mother was sick, leading to her death when Andy was only 9 years old. On Thursday's season closer, titled Louder Than a Bomb, it turned out Andy's mother, a former Fire Academy cadet, wasn't dead after all. She's been secretly alive this entire time. The reveal was one of the first major plot points new showrunner Krista Vernoff put into place when she came aboard at the start of this season. It was sort of the first big pitch that came out of the new writer's room, she tells ET. With a plan in place, Vernoff was able to plant seeds all throughout the season that formed a path to the finale reveal. We felt like there was complexity in Andy's relationship with her father and some mystery surrounding the mother's death woven into the fabric of the series. The way that Andy remembered her mom pulling her out of school and having this beautiful day, it just evolved. It felt true when we came to it in the writer's room. Those are all the questions that we get heading into season 4 with. It's really rich material, I think. What we loved for the end of season 3 is that this is a really super crazy thing to discover, that your mother, who you were told was dead, is not in fact dead. And there's an argument that it's sort of melodramatic. There's also an argument that people go through this kind of discovery in life often, and that when you are on the verge of knowing something that deep to be untrue, everyone else starts to tell you that you sound crazy. What we love about it for this season is that Andy's been seeming really crazy for a couple of episodes. Then, it was this beautiful confirmation. She didn't think her mom might still be alive. She just knew something was wrong with the story she'd been told. That's what we loved exploring at the end of this season. And everything you said is RM. When Maya was cutting her hair, was that Danielle Savor actually cutting her hair on camera for the first time? That is the case. She had one take. She cut her hair and it was so beautifully done.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
Elmira, NY, WETM. Nationwide protesters have been rioting for the arrest of officers after the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 2 days after the death of Floyd, people in the city of Elmira are joining forces in a peaceful protest outside of Elmira Police Department precinct, asking to be heard. Since 10 a.m., protesters like Domery Green have gathered all day for the honking of observers in support of all races to realize that African American people are not alone in the fight to be equal. Use your voice. I expect people to stand up. We can't sit and use social media behind a keyboard. We have to stand up. Green will continue to peacefully protest, be heard, and strive for a better future for him and his family as long as it takes. We have to do something about it. If we sit at home on the internet, nothing is going to change. No one is going to take us seriously.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new
Joseph TV for the latest news.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
Rob Manfred is certain that Major League Baseball will take place this summer, but is hopeful that it will come as the result of a negotiated agreement with the MLB Players Association, a circumstance that feels unlikely in the midst of contentious, seemingly unproductive negotiations over the last few weeks. Manfred, in his 6th year as MLB's commissioner, said in an interview with ESPN broadcaster Kyle Ravech on Wednesday that the league will soon provide a responsive proposal to the latest offer from the MLBPA, which consisted of an 89-game season and full prorated salaries, and that he's 100% sure there will be a season. Manfred, speaking a little less than an hour before the start of a significantly shorter MLB draft, said the league's proposal will be another significant move in the players' direction in terms of the salary issue that has kept us apart. We're hopeful that it will produce reciprocal movement from the Players Association, that we'll see a number other than 100% on salary, and some recognition that 89 games, given where we are in the calendar and the course of the pandemic, is not realistic, he added. Players remain steadfast in their belief that they are owed their full prorated salaries based on an agreement made by both sides in March, while owners claim that the reality of hosting games with no fans means significant enough losses to warrant more financial concessions from players. Neither side has expressed a willingness to shift from their respective positions.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new
Joseph TV for the latest news.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
The presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all fans, our competitors and our industry, a league statement read. Bringing people together around a love for racing and the community that it creates is what makes our fans and sport special. The display of the Confederate flag will be prohibited from all NASCAR events and properties. Bubba Wallace, NASCAR's lone black driver at the top level, called for the banning of the Confederate flag earlier this week. However, when pressed by reporters later, other drivers including Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin refused to take a hard stance on the matter, while saying they disagree with the racist symbolism the flag carries. Protests across the country in response to racial injustice and disproportionate police brutality against minorities have affected athletes in all sports, NASCAR no exception. Wallace, for example, will race with the words Black Lives Matter on his vehicle this weekend. Earlier this afternoon, NBC Sports reported that NASCAR had removed all guidelines requiring all team members to stand for the national anthem. The guidelines were actually removed last week before the Atlanta race when NASCAR official Kirk Price kneeled during the invocation and raised a fist. He remained kneeling during the anthem while saluting the flag.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
We've clearly set ourselves the goal of 3 victories this week and taking a giant step forward towards the league title. Bayern warmed up by beating Eintracht Frankfurt 5-2 at the weekend and also host relegation threatened Fortuna Düsseldorf this Saturday. Leaders Bayern arrive at second-placed Dortmund 4 points clear and on course for an 8th straight title. For us this is a very decisive week, insisted Bayern forward Thomas Müller. Berlin, AFP. Bayern Munich aim to continue the Bundesliga's current trend of teams winning on the road behind closed doors when they face Borussia Dortmund in a potential title decider on Tuesday. Since the Bundesliga resumed 10 days ago, behind locked doors due to the coronavirus, home advantage has counted for little with 10 of the 18 games played won by the away team. Bayern and Dortmund are among only 3 clubs, the other being Hertha Berlin, who thrashed neighbors FC Union 4-0 on Friday, to have won at home since the restart. We're looking forward to Tuesday. I hope that we can show what makes us strong and leave Dortmund's stadium with a smile, added Müller. Signal Iduna Park would normally be packed with 82,000 fans for a visit of Bayern, but the terraces will remain empty on Tuesday. Hansi Flick's Bayern are eager to continue the trend and again assert their dominance over Dortmund, who they routed 4-0 in Munich last November.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
It told the bankruptcy court, where it has been since filing Chapter 11 earlier this year, that it would begin a total liquidation of its operations, shutting all its stores and sailing off into the sunset. The timetable for the going out of business process is still to be determined, but in a bizarre and somewhat ironic twist that defines the current crisis the retailing business is trying to deal with, the company will begin to reopen its stores, so it can close them. When it filed for bankruptcy in January, Pier 1 said it would close about half its stores, 450 or so, but try to keep the rest operational, hoping to find a buyer or some sort of plan to stay in business. But then came the coronavirus and all plans went out the window. All 900 plus stores were closed and the liquidation sales that me. It was a cruel development, but Pier 1's statement that the pandemic was the cause of its meltdown rings hollow. Ultimately, due to the combination of a challenging retail environment and the new reality and uncertainty of a post-COVID world, the company and its advisors determined that an orderly wind down is the best way to maximize the value of Pier 1's assets, the company said in a press release. Even blaming it on the retail environment is more than a bit of an excuse. Pier 1's problems that got them to this point are largely self-made and the company's executives and board must bear the ultimate responsibility. In no particular order, here are the key reasons there will no longer be a Pier 1. The revolving door of executives who have run Pier 1 over the past decade has been excessive, even by troubled retailer standards. Every time a new chief honcho came along, he gave all the reasons why the guy before him failed and laid out his plan for making things right. Usually, in 18 to 24 months that guy was gone too and the decline continued. Pier 1 was pulled in so many different directions, it's a wonder it lasted this long. They started to make their way to Interstate 25 at 20th, where the group blocked traffic in both directions. About 7 p.m. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock tweeted, "You can be angry. You can be outraged. I certainly am, and I join you in those feelings and demands of justice for George Floyd. March for justice and to see it served, but please march in peace. Responding to violence with violence will only lead to more violence." Witnesses claim 6 or 7 shots were fired at about 5:30 p.m., shortly after most of the demonstrators had left the area to protest in the streets of downtown Denver. Denver police confirmed the report and said there are no reports of any injuries. After gathering at the Capitol, hundreds of protesters marched down Lincoln Street and then Broadway, blocking traffic. Police officers helped control traffic in the area but did not stop the protesters. Spencer Wilson with KKTV said police ordered people to get down on the ground, then took off towards the West Lawn. Wilson shared video of people lying on the sidewalk and the grass. Police said they were investigating in the area of West Colfax Avenue and West 15th Street. Police in Denver rushed to the state capitol on Thursday evening on reports of shots fired during a police accountability protest that turned violent. The protest stretched for more than 3 hours as crowds also continued to block traffic not just around downtown Denver but also on I-25 and then returned to the state capitol where protesters smashed the windows of a Colorado State Patrol cruiser.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new
Joseph TV for the latest news.
Joachim has now dropped to 6th in the line of succession, behind Frederick and Mary's 4 children. The source said, "Word is Joachim and Marie have been growing unsettled with royal life for years, especially since it feels like they are going nowhere with it. They are very much in Fred and Mary's shadow, which is a source of frustration for them. Ever since Mary came along, Fred has been able to do no wrong in the eyes of the public, and Joachim feels bad Marie has been so overshadowed by her sister-in-law." The source continued, "Harry chose an American divorcee, and many predict it won't last. Joachim's first wife, Alexandra, Countess of Frederiksborg, came from Hong Kong, and it was over between them within 10 years. Fred remembers all too well how disappointed his parents were in Joachim, and is looking closely at how William and Catherine dealt with Harry's departure in case it happens in his own family." Mary and her husband Prince Frederick are the Crown Prince and Princess of Denmark. Frederick is heir apparent to the Danish throne, meaning should Frederick succeed, Mary will automatically become Queen of Denmark. An insider told Woman's Day about how Joachim may make his exit. They said, Harry and Joachim are very similar men. They both grew up being the younger brothers of future kings, with a bit of a spare to the heir complex. It's also worth noting that while Fred and William both married women who were prepared to do their duty to their countries as faultless future queens, Joachim and Harry weren't quite looking for the same thing, and have courted a lot more controversy in their choosing of wives. Royal insiders have confirmed that tensions have been growing between Frederick and Joachim in recent years. A source said, the fact that Joachim and Marie spent the summer in France rather than with the family at their country castle is very telling. It won't surprise anyone if the palace announces his official exit any day now. Woman's Day exclusively learned that the Danish Prince Joachim is potentially due to exit the firm. The reports come as the Danish press have confirmed that after completing military training in Paris, Joachim is reportedly keeping his future options open.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new
Joseph TV for the latest news.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
In light of the historic unrest that has gripped the nation since the police killing of George Floyd, there might be a temptation to describe RTJ for the latest, and best, collaboration between rapper Killer Mike and rapper producer LP as surprisingly prescient. The first full-length The Odd Couple hip-hop duo has recorded in the Trump era, though obviously locked long before the country erupted in protest. The album contains multiple references to police brutality and racial and economic injustice, and was released early less than a week after Killer Mike put multiple elected leaders to. If anything, Run the Jewels' debut LP felt like something of a between albums palate cleanser back in 2013, as this initially unexpected pairing of hip-hop lifers Mike the one-time outcast protege from Atlanta whose style splits the difference between Cujo and Stokely Carmichael, L the type of Wissy's Brooklynite who can refer to himself as the Ellis Mother Face in Cedarpus so casually you might miss the reference temporarily eased up on the blistering social commentary that distinguished their solo careers for what amounted to an album's worth of hilariously over-the-top threats and S-talk. By their second album they had elevated this to fine art, and on their third, 2016's Run the Jewels 3, they managed to introduce a bracing degree of depth and introspection, with tracks like the crushingly poignant Thursday in the Danger Room proving these two could wear their hearts. RTJ4 continues along that same trajectory, doubling down on the open-vein sincerity and political urgency of its predecessor while still retaining all of the pugilistic vulgarity and what me worry swagger that made these middle-aged cult rappers such unlikely heroes to begin with. Viewed alongside the rest of their discography, the most immediately obvious evolutions on the album are sonic ones. As the group's producer, LP has found ingenious ways to lighten the mood while still always coming down on the side of dissonance. Here we find elements of dancer hall anthems, Rick Rubin-style pavement crackers and old-school block party bangers, the beats ever mutating and nodding to hip-hop's roots while gazing steadily forward. Above all, RTJ4 is a triumph of all sorts of unexpected syntheses, seamlessly uniting disparate moods, styles and eras. That certainly goes for the album's guest stars. Gospel legend Mavis Staples and hard rock guitar hero Josh Homme combine beautifully on Pulling the Pin, while Jude $T sees the similarly odd couple of Pharrell Williams and Zach De La Rocha each taking turns with the song's refrain culminating with the incendiary line "Look at all these slave masters posing on your dollar." And most of all that goes for Mike and Elle themselves. Listening to the two one-up each other in a lyrical dunk contest of increasingly elaborate insults and crime scene scenarios has become one of modern hip-hop's most consistent pleasures in a less chaotic time. You could have expected to see bong marts from both men accompanied by fire emoji on social media for weeks. In fact, you could have Phil.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new
Joseph TV for the latest news.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
Berlin, Reuters, Eintracht Frankfurt changed their team shirt to display Black Lives Matter on the front for their German Cup semi-final at Bayern Munich on Wednesday to take a stand against racism, the club said. Athletes across the world have joined in support of protests triggered by the death of unarmed black man George Floyd in US police custody last month. Tonight, make your mark. Blackheart. Every day, listen. Understand. Question. Stand. Speak up. Fight for tolerance and diversity. Overcome racism, Frankfurt said. The white shirt displayed the line in black letters, larger than the name of the team's sponsor. Several Bundesliga clubs and players have shown their support for the protests by going down on one knee ahead of league games in recent weeks. Major sports have also moved to allow protests following Floyd's death on the 25th of May, including World Soccer's ruling body FIFA and the American National Football League, NFL.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
Weather permitting, the X-37B spaceplane will lift off atop an Atlas V rocket from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in Florida to begin its Hush Hush mission in Earth orbit. Liftoff is set for 8:24 a.m. You can also watch the launch here directly from the United Launch Alliance, which built the Atlas V rocket for this mission. ULA will begin posting live updates on launch preparations at 1 a.m. EDT, 0500 GMT, before the actual launch. Weather is a key concern, with Air Force officials forecasting just a 40% chance of good conditions for launch. Space Force officials said Saturday's launch, called USSF-7, is dedicated to the many first responders and medical personnel who work daily to combat the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Our invincible American spirit drives us to motivate, collaborate, and innovate together to overcome adversity, Secretary of the Air Force Barbara Barrett said in a statement. In dedicating this mission to the nation's healthcare workers, first responders, and essential personnel, the department celebrates those who are keeping America strong. America Strong is the tagline for this mission, with Space Force and ULA emblazoning it on the side of the Atlas V rocket along with the message, in memory of COVID-19 victims and tribute to all first responders and frontline workers.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
Berlin, AFP. Union Berlin could normally expect their Alten Pfosterer ground to be packed for the visit of defending Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich, yet the terraces stood empty on Sunday. The Bundesliga returned this weekend after a 2-month hiatus due to the coronavirus, but the league's strict hygiene guidelines mean matches played behind locked doors. Bayern arrived in Berlin holding a slender 1-point lead at the top of the table after second-place Borussia Dortmund hammered Schalke 4-0 on Saturday, also in a near-empty stadium with players' calls echoing around the ground. A packed house saw the East Berlin Minnows stun Borussia Dortmund 3-1 in August and then turned over Borussia Mönchengladbach with a shock 2-0 win 3 months later. Now, it's Bayern's turn, but the fans have to stay away and Union cannot rely on their noisy support in their bid to stun Munich's star-studded squad.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
2020 was shaping up to be another huge year for The Weeknd, with a new album, a global tour and not least, a variety cover story. Well, despite a global pandemic, the album and cover story happened as planned, but the tour obviously had to wait, and on Wednesday afternoon, The Weeknd revealed rescheduled dates for the After Hours tour, which remarkably will see nearly every show taking place almost exactly a year after its original date. Only the New Orleans date has been cancelled. Late in March, shortly after the tour was postponed, The Weeknd stressed to Variety, "The tour is still happening, we're not cancelling. We just have to rearrange the dates. which is unfortunate but certainly understandable. And sure enough, the tour begins in Vancouver, as planned, but on the 12th of June of 2021, and wraps in Berlin in November. Full dates below, with more dates to be announced soon. All tickets will be transferable to the newly scheduled dates. The tour asks ticket holders to please hold on to your tickets as they will be honored for the new dates. If you are a ticket holder and cannot make the new show, you will receive an email directly allowing you to request a refund.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
I want to thank HBO Max and Warner Brothers for this brave gesture of supporting artists and allowing their true visions to be realized. Also a special thank you to all of those involved in the Snyder Cut movement for making this a reality, said Snyder in a statement announcing the news. It's not clear yet what form the Snyder's version of the movie will take. Apparently the director and Deborah Snyder, who produced Justice League and is also married to Zack, are still determining whether the director's cut will be released as a nearly 4-hour film or divided up into a 6-part series, according to The Hollywood Reporter. The cost of producing the new cut, which will include re-editing the film, scoring new music, and redoing and adding new visual effects, is said to be between $20 and $30 million, also per THR's report. The Snyder Cut's history is long and convoluted. Snyder originally stepped away from Justice League after the death of his daughter, and Warner Brothers brought in director Joss Whedon, who had already been recruited to help with script rewrites at an earlier stage to oversee reshoots and shepherd the film through editing and post-production. Everything between the studio and Snyder seemed amicable at first. But once the movie was released in November 2017, fans took issue with Whedon's lighter, more comedic contributions to the film. A campaign started not long after the film's initial release. In the nearly 3 years since then, release the Snyder Cut has developed into a full-force campaign from fans around the world. Online petitions were launched, public demonstrations were held outside the Warner Brothers studio in Burbank, and Times Square ads were taken out in New York City. Some Snyder Cut campaigning has been positive. The official Release the Snyder Cut campaign group has also raised money for suicide awareness, in tribute to Snyder's daughter. People have made friends via the campaign, and fans bonded over their favorite Snyder DC movies, which also include Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice and Man of Steel. Actors like Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot have also participated in the campaign, tweeting out photos from Justice League with the Release the Snyder Cut hashtag.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new
Joseph TV for the latest news.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
London, Reuters. 3 people were killed in a stabbing attack in the Scottish city of Glasgow on Friday, British media reported on Friday, with police saying a suspect had been shot and an officer injured. An eyewitness told Sky News she had seen several people covered in blood being treated by emergency services after an incident at a city centre hotel, and armed police on the scene, at around 1:15 p.m. I would like to reassure the public that at this time we are not looking for anyone else in relation to this incident. I can also confirm that a police officer was injured while dealing with the incident, and that officer is receiving treatment in hospital. Last week, 3 people died in the southern English town of Reading when a man wielding a 5-inch knife went on a rampage in a park. Police said they were treating that incident as terrorism.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new
Joseph TV for the latest news.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
First up, Builds say Chelsea are now the favourites to sign Timo Werner, and he could sign for the Blues next week as they will meet his $62 million release clause, which expires on the 15th of June. Reports state that Liverpool want Werner, but he has chosen to sign for Chelsea instead. This is a massive boost for Chelsea. Werner, 24, has dazzled at RB Leipzig this season, 31 goals and 12 assists in 40 games in all competitions, and is widely expected to leave with Liverpool, Man United and many others clubs across Europe, chasing his signature with his release clause relatively low. Per a previous report, Chelsea have centre-back Antonio Rudiger working hard to convince his close friend and former Stuttgart teammate Werner that West London is the place for him. Chelsea are one of the few clubs who have a healthy transfer budget, as they had a transfer ban for a whole year and Frank Lampard has just spent $44 million on one new signing so far, bringing in Hakim Ziyech, who will not arrive until later this summer. Werner is exactly what Chelsea need. They have created so many golden goal-scoring opportunities, and although Tammy Abraham was putting them away at the start of the season, his form and fitness was a concern in the last few months before the suspension. Chelsea have created 361 chances this season, which is the second most in the Premier League, behind only Man City, 421. That is staggering, and if they had a poacher like Werner around, they'd surely be challenging for the title. Olivier Giroud is their only other forward option, and Werner would be perfect to finish off the chances this attack-minded Chelsea team create. Even better for him, he would actually play at Chelsea, which may not be the case at Liverpool and Man United given their stacked attacking lineups.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new
Joseph TV for the latest news.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
Trump called out New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees' most recent apology for comments he made on players who take a knee during the national anthem to protest police brutality just days after George Floyd died. I am a big fan of Drew Brees. I think he's truly one of the greatest quarterbacks, but he should not have taken back his original stance on honoring our magnificent American flag, Trump said in his tweet. Old Glory is to be revered, cherished, and flown high. We should be standing up straight and tall, ideally with a salute, or a hand on heart. There are other things you can protest, but not our great American flag. No kneeling. The president's tweet came on the heels of Brees' Wednesday comments, in which he said that he will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country. In the interview with Yahoo Finance, Brees explained that while he understands the racial discrimination players across the league have tried to highlight, he does not support taking a knee during pre-game ceremonies. After widespread backlash from sports fans and black players, who make up 70% of NFL rosters, Brees issued a written apology followed by a lengthier post and video on Instagram. I would like to apologize to my friends, teammates, the city of New Orleans, the black community, NFL community, and anyone I hurt with my comments yesterday, Brees wrote Thursday in his first apology, posted alongside a photo of a black and white arm joining hands. In speaking with some of you, it breaks my heart to know the pain I have caused. I made comments that were insensitive and completely missed the mark on the issues we are facing right now as a country.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
Former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley has something to prove in Saturday's main event showdown at UFC Apex in Las Vegas versus Gilbert Burns. The 38-year-old part-time rapper hasn't fought since getting manhandled by Kamaru Usman and losing the belt nearly 15 months ago at UFC 235. Woodley's listless performance against Usman left fans disappointed, and many questioned whether Father Time had caught up to the chosen one. Meanwhile, Burns is on a 5-fight win streak, including a first-round TKO of MMA legend Damian Maia in March at UFC Brasilia. Dorinho earned his third performance of the night bonus with the knockout and his shot at the former champion. A win over Woodley would do wonders for Burns and have him near the top of a crowded welterweight division. Heavyweight, Blagoy Ivanov vs Augusto Sakai. Catchweight, 150 pounds, Billy Quarantillo vs Spike Carlisle. Catchweight, 157.5 pounds, Roosevelt Roberts vs Brock Weaver. Mackenzie Dern. Death. Hannah Cyphers via submission, Neba, at 2:36 of R1.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new. Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
Few in the NBA over the last 2 decades have thrown it down like Vince Carter. That high-flying tendency, along with his longevity, will be his lasting legacy. Carter officially announced his retirement from professional basketball on Thursday after 22 seasons in the league with 8 teams. "I'm officially done playing basketball professionally," Carter said in a podcast hosted by The Ringer and the Atlanta Hawks, the team he played for the past 2 years. "I'll play at home." Drafted 5th overall out of North Carolina in the 1998 draft, Vincennes captured Rookie of the Year honors with the Toronto Raptors, who swapped with the Golden State Warriors for him on draft night. He spent the first 7 seasons of his career in Toronto until a trade halfway through the 2004-05 season took him to the New Jersey Nets. He played with the Nets until 2009, and by the time Carter left New Jersey, he was an 8-time All-Star. At his next stops with the Orlando Magic, Phoenix Suns and Dallas Mavericks, Carter mostly came off the bench and contributed, rather than being a primary scorer. As his career wound down, the 43-year-old transitioned into a veteran role player for teams looking to bring along young talent. He spent 1 season with the Sacramento Kings, 2 with the Memphis Grizzlies and the last 2 with the Hawks. He is the first NBA player to play in 4 decades.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
The class of 2020 may not be getting a traditional graduation due to COVID-19, but as Lena Waithe points out, they're getting the Obamas. Waithe, former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama are teaming up with the XQ Institute, the LeBron James Family Foundation and the Entertainment Industry Foundation for Graduate Together. America honors the high school class of 2020. The 1-hour primetime event will air simultaneously across ABC, CBS, Fox and NBC on Saturday at 8 p.m. ETPT, and will also be available to stream on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Complex Networks, People and other online platforms. Waithe, who won a writing Emmy for Master of None and is also the creator of Showtime's Archie, graduated from Evanston Township High School in Illinois and says her best advice for this year's seniors is don't be normal. Blackish and Grownish star Yara Shahidi, 20, will also be participating in Graduate Together, and says she was already impressed with the current graduating class before coronavirus hit.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
Joseph TV for the latest news.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new.
The website downtotech.com, which allows users to report online services and providers that aren't working for them, listed nearly 15,000 reports about Comcast shortly before 2 p.m. Commenters were reporting a loss of service in Illinois and Indiana. Phone calls to Comcast's Finity helpline were met with a message that all circuits are busy. A spokesperson couldn't immediately be reached. An employee outside of the Comcast business office at 1275 N Water Street indicator said around 2:30 p.m. that there was a fiber optic cut affecting central Illinois.
Like and share and subscribe to the channel to receive all new